Cormac, this is a review of your lesson from October 2nd of 2020, and we'll get right into it. You did a great job on your lesson. I'm gonna go through the list of your practice routine that I'd like you to do every day between now and the next lesson. So the first thing on your list is the high A doubling, which you did a fine job on it. We need to get a little more control of it. It's pretty good, but it's in this book, the Green Tutor book, on page 76 at the top. And you'll notice that this exercise starts it on low A. We're going to start it on low G and then continue up. And the purpose of me recording this for you today is to have it with a metronome. So every click you hear will be melody note, high A, melody note, high A. And when I say high A, I mean doubling. So it's going to be like this, like that, etc. Let's do it together, all right? We'll do the entire thing. I want you to practice this along with me as much as you can. If it's distracting to do it with me, okay. But the idea is to be consistent and get it strong. So ready? 1, 2. All right, and you heard the squeak on the way. Practice generous, right? Okay, so I'd like you to play that 3 times with me on a daily basis, so you would pause the video and go back and do it again. The next thing we discussed would be the transition from E to D and then back up to E again with a G grace note. It's coming along quite well, but I want to make sure that the timing of your G grace note is always before the note you're going to. So, like, for example, if we went from low A to B, I would go. In slow motion, I'm playing low A. I lift both fingers up, high G finger and B finger, and then drop the high A finger, like this. Like that. You want to make sure you're doing that for all transitions with grace notes. So when you're going from E to D, just make sure you're doing it that way. And then from D to E, all right? That's pretty much something to do on your own, or you can do it with me there in that little bit of the video. Before I go on to Glasgow Police Piper's Jig, which is what we've been focusing on quite a bit, I do want to review the C doubling. This is a new doubling scale that I gave to you at the end of the lesson because you've been doing a great job. You're ready for it. It is at the top of page 77 of the Green Book here, all right? And again, you'll notice that this doubling scale starts on low A and goes all the way up the scale to C doublings. We're going to start it on low G. Before we do that, I want to demonstrate the C doubling. We're on low A. We're going to do a G grace note to C, and then we're going to do a D grace note on C. So the grace notes on this doubling are G grace note, D grace note on C. Here it is in slow motion. All right. And for this recording, I think we're going to do it just about that speed for now to get accuracy. All right. So ready? 1 and 2 and. You may remember you noticed in the music that when you go from high G to the C, we can't do a G grace note because we're already on a high G. So we do a thumb grace note. Goes like this. Right? And then from high A to the C doubling, it's a half C doubling. It's just the high A, C, D grace note. No grace note between the high A and the C. So it goes like this. So just be mindful of that. The last part of this, I wanted to just take some time to do the Glasgow Police Piper's Jig with you. And I want to keep the metronome at 35 beats per minute with triplets. So on your metronome at home, that would actually be, we discussed the math on this, 3 times 35, which is 105, okay? But because I have the Piper's metronome that lets us break down the beat into eighth notes, we're going to do it that way. And I set it up like this. You've seen this before. Okay, so that's our rhythm, or our tempo, excuse me, and the rhythm. It's even, triplets. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the entire tune to this tempo. And your job will be to follow along with it best you can. There may be times where it gets frustrating and you can't do it yet. That's okay. That's the time to take a break. Go practice your ending phrase on its own, and then get back into it. You may recall the ending phrase is the last 2 bars of every line, or excuse me, every part. And before we do the tune, let's go ahead and do the ending phrase. The assignment was to do it 3 times in a row, right? Daily. So the ending phrase starts on a high A. You're already on a high A. So it'll be ready? 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. So that is your ending phrase practice right there. Three of them in a row. Perfectly. All right, let's do the tune. Classical Police Piper jig set at 35 beats per minute with triplets, which would be 105 beats per minute on your metronome if you choose to do it that way. But if you play with the recording here, you don't need it. So 1, 2. Have fun.